Hey guys, today we're going to talk about fret wire. Now the question was, what is the difference between the types of fret wire? Okay, let's talk about that. There are three basic types of fret wire. There is vintage, there is medium jumbo, and there is jumbo. Now, as their names would imply, they are basically different sizes, and of course jumbo being the biggest. Now, there are other sizes in between those and after and before those sizes, like jumbo wide or just medium, right? So let's talk about fret wire for a second. So the main reason there's different fret wire is because I want you to see in your kind of picture in your head a trampoline, and you're jumping on the trampoline. So the trampoline, as you jump down on it, the energy is pushed back and it pushes you in the air higher than you would go. Kind of like when you push down on a string. You push down until the string hits the fret and you make the note. Now, you want to be light to the touch so you can be fast. And so you don't touch the fretboard. But what happens if you kind of have a more aggressive sound and you like to dig in? Well, you're kind of feeling that fretboard and it probably doesn't feel very good. So they make the fret taller, right? Think of it like this way. Obviously, it's not the same exact analogy, but I get the point. If you were a bigger person and you were jumping on the trampoline and stretching it to the point where you're hitting the ground, that wouldn't be very good. So you would actually either make the trampoline taller or you would dig the ground out. Now, that's exactly how it works with frets. Make the frets taller, so when people push down harder, they can't touch the fretboard. If you're Yngwie Malmsteen, you do the latter. You actually dig the ground out. In other words, he scallops his fretboard. If you don't know what scalloped is, just look up scallop fretboard. You'll see they take material way up from the wood between each fret so that the frets feel really tall and you can play really light, like Yngwie does. Now, that being said, what is the quality differences? Well, it's not a quality issue, so you know, right? Not in that instance. Vintage guitars use vintage fret wire because the fretboards tend to be very rounded over and the fret wire fits the needs very well. Modern guitars have to be flatter fretboards, or not have to be, but tend to be. So they use bigger fret wire. Again, just because the player lines up that way. I have an example. A lot of my guitars have medium and medium jumbo fret wire, but I have a couple with jumbos. Like I said, like that Ibanez right there. Now when I play the Ibanez, because the neck is flat and it plays fast, I tend to play notes. And if you watch my hand, you see how it's like a C shape? I don't have any issues. But this guitar, when I play a lot of chords and bar chords. If it was medium jumbo frets, what happens is the meat of my finger right there gets raw from running across what I call the speed bumps of the frets. So I want the frets to not be so extreme. These are medium jumbos. I found that's a good compromise for me. So it's really a feel issue. In other words, you just play frets that you like. If you're not sure what kind of frets you do like, there's two suggestions. One, play some guitars, but ask questions. Ask what kind of fret wire is on these guitars. There's a student at my store, his name's Eric. He's a great guy, and he gave me a great suggestion this week for this video. And the suggestion was, go on warmoth.com and mock build up a guitar and change out the different fret wires. And it'll give you a lot of insight on how guitars are built and the options you can do. It's just a good way to learn about guitars if that's what you're interested in. And you'll learn more about fret wire that way. My personal advice on top of that is, don't stress fret wire too much. So many people put into fret wire so much more than it really needs to be. The neck is either comfortable or it's not. Just stick with that. All right, guys. Thanks for your time. Know your gear.